Shayna's got in the bath today. Yeah, I figured it out. It was almost on time this morning. Snow in Chicago in the suburbs. Cold, and when is spring coming? I don't miss Chicago. I don't know how people live there. Hi from Israel.
Merry Christmas!
So what can you feed your dog to gain weight? More fats in the diet. Your way to gain weight is either more fats or more starches. I would prefer to go more fats if you're doing raw. If you're doing cooked, you may have to go starches. Sweater looks cozy. So I am one of those people. Hi from Kuala Lumpur. Okay. We are international this morning. I am a huge sweater nut. Everybody has something that they just can't have enough of. For me, it's sweaters. I have I like really big sweaters that go almost to my knees and I can snuggle up. This one has a hood. Yeah, I'm a sweater person. Store-bought meat should be frozen first before feeding, correct? No. Salmon has to be. Yeah, salmon has to be deep frozen, but everything else, no. Freezing does not kill bacteria, guys. That's why the FDA keeps going after the raw food companies because the freezing will not kill the bacteria. So that's not a kill step. But it will kill parasites. Most freezing will kill most parasites. So you can do that. For me, sweatpants. Yeah, well, okay. So somebody asked yesterday if I would talk about bloat, so why not? And then somebody else sent me a message and asked if I would talk about worms. So I'm going to do that tomorrow. And supporters, if you didn't see, hi, Emma. If you didn't see tomorrow night, New Year's Eve, is that tomorrow night? Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, we're going to do an Ask Me Anything New Year's Eve celebration at 7 because we're not going anywhere. We never go anywhere anyway, but and we used to go to a winery where they celebrated New Year's Eve at 10 p.m. because we could stay awake that long. That's about it for us. I don't think we could even stay awake till 10 these days. Okay, bloat. So bloat is also known as GDV or gastric dilatation and volvulus. And it is much more common in large breed dogs. I have only ever seen it one time in a small breed, and that was a beagle. And I worked emergency clinic for 10 years. It was really fun. I really liked working emergency. So I worked emergency clinic for 10 years, and I had a beagle came in, and I mean, he looked like somebody just blew him up with a pump. He was just a big round beach ball. And we x-rayed him, and sure enough, it looked like he had a bloat. So a lot of times in an emergency situation, what we will do to decompress them quickly, what you want to do is pass a stomach tube down to release the gas and fluid and wherever is in there. But this guy, we couldn't even get a tube down him. Things were so tight. And so we do what is called a trocherization, which is basically stick a large bore needle straight through the body wall into the stomach. And when I did, this dog was like a sprinkler. I had 2 or 3 trocars in him and water was just pouring out. So this dog had drank God knows how much water, and God knows why he did it. But he drank so much water and then his stomach flipped, and then he had gas production on top of that. So we just let him sit there like a sprinkler and decompress. And the stomach actually went back into position on its own after we did that. So nobody knows the exact cause of bloat, but what bloat is, it's where the stomach, it has the inflow from the esophagus and the outflow at the small intestine. And so if you think about if those are the two ends of a jump rope and you do this with your jump rope, you're going to flip what's in the middle. So the stomach will actually flip around, and the spleen is attached to the greater curvature of the stomach. So that goes with it. So the spleen flips as well. And when that happens, it cuts off the blood supply to that, because you're flipping the blood vessels along with it. So if you think about taking a licorice stick and twisting it, and, you know, or a hose and twisting it, and now you don't have good flow through there. So we decrease the blood flow to the stomach, and then everything in the stomach, whatever food is in there, will really start to ferment, and you get a lot of gas buildup. So these dogs are usually diagnosed because all of a sudden they look like they swallowed a beach ball and they're trying to vomit, but they are a Great Dane and a standard poodle. Yeah, absolutely breeds that we see it. The dog that had bloat Christmas Day has black stools now, so taking it back was not on antibiotics. Yeah, so the black stools, that means we've got bleeding, which it could be, blood left over from surgery, if they, because they would have had to get into the stomach. So hopefully it's just that. But what happens, so we get all this gas buildup, and basically it's a time bomb. And if you don't get to it fast enough, the stomach will rupture. And the other thing that happens is the stomach wall itself will start to die because it doesn't have blood flow anymore, or at least not good blood flow anymore, which is why our Doberman, we had to put him down in surgery, because when we got in there, he had a lot of black spots in the stomach wall that were dead tissue. And so even though we could untwist him, we knew that we would have multiple areas of the stomach that would die. So a lot of these dogs, they'll make it through surgery, and then 5 to 7 days later, they die. I had one that I did, 25 years ago. Great surgery. It was a Doberman. Dog did really well. Kept him in the hospital for a week, and the people came to pick him up. I took him out in the backyard to do a last pee before we handed him over to the clients, and the dog collapsed in the backyard, and his stomach had ruptured in that moment. Great timing. One of the other things that we will see, because their electrolytes get really out of whack with this, as you can imagine, with the blood flow being off and all the gas production in there, they're building up toxins in there. They very commonly will develop heart problems along with it, heart arrhythmias. So these are critical cases. It's not something where you go in, do a quick surgery and send them home. They generally are in the hospital for 7 to 10 days, monitoring for all the complications that can occur later, including pieces of the stomach wall dying, heart arrhythmias, heart attacks, literally. So things that we want to do to try to prevent bloat. Nobody really knows exact causes of this, but things that you want to avoid. You want to avoid having a large breed dog and feeding it a large meal of dry kibble. One of my other Dobermans bloated 35 years ago because he got into cat food, and that was when I was still feeding dry cat food, and he ate a whole bag of dry cat food and blew up like a balloon. So the goal with these guys is to not feed them large volumes of dry food, and to not let them drink large volumes of water after eating large volumes of dry food, because it's like a sponge. It blows up in there, and then you get gas production, and then you get the flip. Deep-chested large breed dogs are the most susceptible. So the standard poodles, the Great Danes, Mastiffs, Shepherds, all those big guys. I've seen it in boxers. So the other thing is, you don't want them to exercise heavily right after eating. For those guys, I really do recommend multiple meals throughout the day. Smaller meals are definitely, I think, better for those dogs. Being raw fed is much better for those dogs. Good morning, Bonnie. Yes, Burr is right. Some people will have the stomach tacked, because when we go in and do that surgery for a dog that has a flip, how long does a dog with bloat have before it gets serious? Literally not long. They really need to be in surgery within a couple of hours, or at least get decompressed. So we'll usually bring them in. We would start them on 2 bags of IV fluids wide open, because they're very shocky usually when they come in. Sedate them because they're trying to puke, and they're very anxious, very painful. So we sedate them enough that we can try to pass a stomach tube. And if we can get the stomach tube in, then we pump the stomach. And a lot of times that will avoid having to go to surgery if they will rotate back, or if they're just a bloat without the rotation, because we do see that occasionally. And then surgery is to, one, unrotate if they are rotated. And then the second thing is then attach the stomach to the inside of the body wall to keep it in place so that it can't flip again. Because once a dog does this, they're more prone to do it again. And there's a bunch of different surgeries. We used to just sew the stomach wall to the body wall. They actually do something called a belt loop gastropexy, where they take a kind of a sliver of the stomach and undermine under a rib and attach the stomach wall around a rib. You can try to do it with a stomach tube, where they basically have a Foley catheter, which is a balloon catheter, out the side of the body wall, and leave that in place from the stomach out through the body wall, leave that in place, and it scars down over a week or 2, and then you take it out. So Neely says, it happened so fast, got us to the vet in 40 minutes, made it through surgery, but passed 2 days later. Yeah, and it's so, Newfoundlands, yep, it is so common, so common. So you really want to know the signs of it if you have a large breed dog or a dog that is prone to it. Don't feed them dry food. Don't exercise heavily right after eating. Our Doberman bloated because he drank a bunch of pond water. We were out doing spring cleanup in the yard, and there was algae on the pond. And for some reason, I don't know whether he liked the taste or what his issue was, but he was just going to town all afternoon, in and out, drinking the pond. And I kept yelling at him and telling him not to. And yeah, that didn't work out so well. So some people will have the stomach tacked when they have their animals spayed or neutered, these large breed dogs, in the hopes that it will prevent them from ever doing this. It should prevent them from flipping if you have a good attachment, but they still could bloat, which is just, the gas buildup, gas and fluid buildup. So even if you have them tacked, be aware that they still can bloat. And those can break down. So depending on, how good the surgery is, the adhesions between the stomach and the body wall can break down. So even if you have that done, it doesn't mean you should let your guard down with these guys. So you keep Gas-X on hand. Yeah, that's not a bad idea either. German Shepherd, after many scary episodes, had his tummy tacked. Yeah, Goldens. Yeah, I didn't see it as much in Goldens. And I haven't worked emergency in the last 15 years, but I haven't even had them come into the clinic. So I don't know if it's because my clientele was more aware, or because they were my clients after all these years. Many of them were feeding raw, were feeding more species appropriate meals and not getting the gas and bloating. But we used to see them. They would come in any time of the day or night. And I don't think I've seen any in the last 10 years, which is pretty awesome. So, okay. Why do dogs want to play after eating? Hey, they feel good. It's like that's their favorite time of the day. Well, our guys have 2 favorite times of the day. They're waiting for the first one because we're behind this morning. You feed your Pyrenees 3 meals a day, Dr. Harvey's, raw and home cooked. Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. It's just, when you have a large breed dog, it's expensive to feed them the really high quality stuff. And I don't know. I figure you either pay for the high quality food or you pay the high vet bills with the big problems. So you had a Springer with bloat. Yeah, that's a weird breed for it too. Not as common in those guys. If you suspect a bloat, how much Gas X should be administered as you try to move to the ER? Just throw some down him. Doesn't matter. I don't think you can kill them with Gas X. Relatives Labradoodle died from bloat. Yeah, I think Labradoodles, you know, because especially if it's a large one, like the standard poodle type size. Okay. The raw fed dogs have less bloat. Yeah, I think they do. I definitely think they do. So, okay. Teresa says, interesting topic. Didn't know, never had a large breed dog. Yeah, like I said, I saw it in one beagle, and when they came in, I was like, nah, it can't be a bloat. It's a beagle. It was a bloat. It was a bloat. But he was weird. Judy Knapp, very lucky, witnessed it and brought her in right away. Vet was amazed she did so well. Arrhythmia, but home in one day. That's amazing. Yeah, Judy has mastiffs. She has ginormous dogs. Ginormous. Okay. All right, guys, I got to go feed our dogs. I got a consult today, and we're still working on this whole packing nightmare. Anybody know where we can get rid of a very large, solid cherry dining room hutch? Habitat for Humanity won't take it. Oh, and here's the other bad news. Habitat is taking a whole bunch of furniture, except they are not allowed to come in the house to get it because of COVID, their rules. So Hugh and I have to get all this furniture up from the basement, down from upstairs, and out to our driveway on Saturday. Do I look like I want to carry hundreds of pounds of furniture? No. Not happy. This is my not happy face. Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, we can't. We've tried to give this stuff away. Nobody will take it. Odette. Yes. That's what Hugh said. Good quality CBD hemp. Yes, naturallyhealthyhemp.com. Can it cause kidney issues? No. It should help. Okay. Bye, guys. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Oh, music. I'm supposed to do that thing. Yeah, you don't want to listen to me sing. Hire a crew for that. I know. I'm like hiring people all over the place. I get people in and out of here. Moving is hard. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. We're not taking a lot of the big heavy pieces with us. We're trying to give them away. Hire college or high school guys. Yeah, the colleges aren't even in session. Shelters in the area. Like people shelters? Boy Scouts. I don't know. I may go hire the neighbor. I don't know. We have called junk. They come and get it. Oh. Yeah. You asked your brother about the hutch? Do you live locally? Yeah, it's actually a whole dining room set, but they won't take the hutch. Nobody has formal dining rooms anymore. More trips to Goodwill this weekend. Post free on a garage sale site near you. All right, I got work to do.